What's going on, everybody? You're alive with Osiris, and welcome to the Author's Lounge. Let me first say this. I have my son with me right now, and he's in the background. For whatever reason, he decided that today, knowing that his prima, or also known as his cousin, is being interviewed today, he decides he wants to join and be a part of it. So if you hear him in the background, hey, he has an adorable voice. What can I say? So, anyway, without further ado, let me present to you our guest. As I mentioned, I have my niece with me, and she is a swell and lovely individual. This is her first time doing anything like this. So, I want everybody to just, root for her, cheer her on when you watch this, and feel free to send her some love when it's all said and done. But I'm really proud of you, Sabrina. Really happy that you decided to do this, and the message behind this episode is far greater than promoting any book or promoting even ourselves. It's the message that's going to really go to other children and other teenagers and other families across the world. And so, normally I do a long introduction or a bio for the individual, but this one needs no introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my incredible Sabrina, my niece, and the author behind Adi's Wish. Ladies and gentlemen, Flaca M. What is going on, Sabrina?
Hi, Theo.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm cool. I'm feeling good. You look you look nervous.
Too bit.
Yeah, state the obvious and kind of get it out of the way. So before I do anything else, I gotta say thank you to for agreeing to do this. Granted that this was something that was not in your comfort zone.
You're welcome. You gotta do what I
Yeah,
gotta do.
so yeah, you just got to do what you got to do, right? Hey, well, you're doing quite well for yourself. Going through high school and then um, doing really well in school, taking care of your family, focusing on your fitness, focusing on your studies, focusing on your family and yourself, and even taking some time to spend with friends when you have that opportunity. So that requires a ton of focus and a ton of focus, a ton of balance, and just you never know what life is going to throw at you. So, got some questions here for you. Generally, I do. Generally, I have these questions kind of come off the fly, but I wanted to be a bit more prepared for this moment because I want to ask you certain questions. So, forgive me if I seem like a novice. So, high school, right? All on the topic of high school. High school requires a great deal of focus in order to maintain good grades. So, as a student, how do you manage your time between school, family, friends, and a personal life? The floor is yours, Flocka.
All I do is like take one step at a time and take it day by day. That's what my mom always said, and that's what just been keeping me going. It's not worth the stress. Just always make time.
Okay, making time, always making time. So, what are some things that you make time for? Like just some examples.
I make time for my family, my friends, fitness. What else I do? Creativity,
Yeah,
reading.
of course.
Yeah.
Oh, you agree with that too, Noah? So out so outside of what we do here, Flocka and I we talk all the time when she's not busy and too busy for me. When she can squeeze me to her schedule, we talk all the time. And my son Noah, the one who's here right now, never shows up for any of these things. Somehow, some way, he knew that she was going to be on board today, and he is right in front of me, playing with all these books. So, he's having a good time. So that I just had to mention that while we're on the topic of family, and he heard your voice and he came a little closer to me. So, second question, while on the topic about that. So let's say like on a typical day, right?
Uh-huh.
Monday through Friday, because I know you have a lot of schoolwork that you need to do and exercise and family time. So, at what point during the day, during a typical day, do you generally devote to creativity?
So what? Like a certain time?
Yeah,
Okay. So like it's mostly nighttime I call you. So like what time is that? 9?
yeah, yep. Like 9
Okay.
p.m. when it comes to creativity, you just got to find a certain time during the day that makes the most sense for you to be able to still like get into that groove so you don't lose it. Because most people kind of go during their day, and it doesn't necessarily have to be anything creative. It can just be something as simple as wanting to do a hobby that they enjoy, but not
Mhm.
finding the time out of the day to do so. So yours just happens to be around 9, and I know that's true. I've been on the phone with you many times, and I will watch you do your art, whether you were drawing hearts or you were doing something with knitting or something creative. So I think that's important to continue to do that. So my third question for you is, and it's no surprise given how creative you are that you've created many forms of art. However, you've tapped into creative writing and managed to write your very first book. Well, I say that loosely because this is actually going to be your second book because the first one was the coloring book that we did together. Fun Times with John, the coloring, the Christmas book coloring edition or whatever. There was a long title, but this is actually your first literary, right? Your actual, we wrote it out, having everything down packed. Your first official book, first story. So please tell us. Well, I already mentioned the name of the book being Adi's Wish, so sorry, I gave that spoiler away.
Okay.
So Adi's Wish. So please, what is the genre of the book that Adi's Wish is, and what is Adi's Wish about?
The genre of Ari's Wish is a kid's book. It's like to inspire younger kids to continue their dream. No matter what, if life gets hard, just keep on continuing, going with it, and yeah.
Okay, okay. So I like the message behind it. So I gotta add because I read a little bit of your story, and granted, I know I'm the publisher and stuff, so I say that loosely, but I read a lot of different stories. And but with your story, there was a message behind it, right? So let's see here. Um, because it's a children's book, so obviously there's a message within there's a message of the story that the children can gravitate to, but there's a deeper story behind it. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but like overall the story I think is about a young girl whose family went through some things and she experienced, death. There was some death in her family, and she saw it with her. I don't want to give the spoilers, like the story, away too much, but there was some death involved.
Mhm.
It's still kid friendly, but the underlying tone of it was there's some children, not children. There was some unfortunate death that happened in the story, that the character Adi was exposed to. She didn't see it happen, but she was exposed to the loss of a family member twice, and because of that loss, it made her, the character Adi, really feel that she wanted to do something about it. She didn't like the idea of feeling like she couldn't do anything to help out her family and the family members who she lost. And so she decides when she gets older that she wants to make a wish upon the stars, and when she becomes older, she's hoping that one day she could become a nurse because she feels that being a nurse actually can help families not feel the pain that she felt. Is that am I kind of on the right path with that?
Yeah, you're exactly in the right path.
Okay,
But like the
okay,
book about.
okay, cool. I wanted to make sure I got it right. Like because I think that part is really important for people to know. So as you may have discovered, there is a lot of truth in fiction. So how much of this story, right, in Adi's Wish, in the story that we just kind of talked about, how much of that story is true to you as a person?
I would say like 60 to like 70% is like really true to this stories connected I wrote.
Hmm.
Because most of it is true I wrote in the book. And it happened lifestyle.
What was that? Sorry, I think it broke up a little bit.
Cut
You
off.
said it happened when?
It happened in real life.
Oh, okay, okay. So some of the unfortunate, losses of life that Adi went through in the book, you actually experienced it yourself.
Hmm.
Ah, see, that's the point right there. Like when the phrase is there's truth in fiction, there is a significant amount of truth in fiction. And I think, in writing stories like that, it actually you connect with the character and the story, and it can make it more genuine. When readers read it, there's a sense of reality behind it. There's a sense that people understand that. you know what? I really connect with this because this happened to me too. You're not speaking in some sort of like third world type of language that no one can really connect with, or you're not speaking from a standpoint of like if you were an astronaut. And this is my story as an astronaut. And not many people, unless they are astronauts, can really connect with it. But many people, the cycle of life is that people are born, people pass away. But just because that's kind of the tone, the underlying basis of it, doesn't necessarily mean that it's a sad story. It's actually a heartwarming, fun, lovable, colorful story. And I want that message to come across as well. I want people to know that. So while on that topic, you're not the first 15-year-old, or should I say, you're not the first teenager that I've interviewed. But being that you're in high school, I gotta ask this question, right? Um, because I can imagine it to be a little bit tricky when deciding, you know what, let me just take a chance on myself and let's see what happens. So, um, what made you decide at 15 years old, just a few months into the 10th grade, that you know what, now was the time for me to write a book? What was that? What was the mindset behind that?
Sorry. Um, well, like by seeing you making books and doing kids book, children's book, that really did inspire me. Cause
Mhm.
your books like has some message behind it, and I was like, whoa, like that did inspire me, and it's interesting. So I kind of like we just started like writing, and I just wrote this like little paragraph, and it just turned out more than I expected it. So I was really inspired by you, by your creativity.
Yeah. Oh, that's really nice. I really. Man, this is news to me, everyone. I didn't realize that. Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Over here inspiring people. Well, that's awesome. It was lovely and fun working with you and seeing like the development of the story and how it even turned into what it turned into and seeing where it is now, and it's taking on a life of its own. I'm really proud of you, and I
Oh,
know the family. Everyone's proud of you and what you're being able to do even while in school.
yeah.
I suppose the message behind the book was much bigger than having to wait. So I gotta ask the question, right? That yeah, each story has a message behind it, and every writer has a message to why they're writing the stories. But my biggest question is, when it comes to Adi's wishes, what are you hoping to gain um, from Adi's wish itself? Like, what is, I guess, how let me rephrase the question. What exactly are you hoping that's going to come from Adi's wish once it's out there in the world?
Well, I'm hoping to inspire younger kids while they read this book, and that if life gets hard, they can still continue their dreams and move on forward. It's it just gets challenging, but I want them to I want this book to inspire them, um like they could do it. If Adi could do it, you guys can do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I like it. I think even adults that read the story are going to feel some sort of inspiration behind it. Like it's really easy to make a book look colorful and pop and make it look nice, but the actual content of the story is what's really going to help like propel it forward, where you see stories that just last for years and years and decades, and there's just, it seems to be no end to these stories. And I believe that Adi's wish is going to be in that same category, that same conversation of lasting for years well after we're both gone, that it's going to still exist. And just the levels and places that this is going to reach to, there's not just bookstores, but in libraries and in schools, school libraries, public libraries, bookstores, families' homes, and story time with children, and in hospitals. And there's so many places that this is going to end up at. And who knows, even down the road, where else it'll end up. You just never know. And I think that's the beauty of books and storytelling, is that you just never know where it's going to go and who it's going to reach. You might have this book in a submarine submerged in the Pacific Ocean somewhere, and somebody's just having a rough day and they're reading your book in the ocean. And these are real tales that can happen, and you just don't know. So I really love that idea of just being able to inspire people. So I'll just ask you a few more questions and I'll be on my way. Okay, so given I know you, and I know you to be a shy person. So, given the situation of how shy you are, and the amount of attention that you are likely going to receive once this episode airs, and once people see this episode, and once your book is being purchased, how do you plan on continuing to focus on school, if that has even been a thought?
I haven't really thought about that. That's a really good question. So,
I, I think that's good. I think sometimes you just kind of got to go with the flow.
yes.
Yeah, go with the flow and see what happens, and then you know you'll know when, I guess, when the time is right to break out of that shell. But I say just keep focusing. Yeah, just keep doing your thing. I mean, obviously you can't pretend like it doesn't exist. Like once it's out there, and word spreads really quick, and just stay focused. It's going to be hard to ignore somebody who's doing really well in school, especially once teachers find out about it. They will, I can assure you, there will be at least one teacher in your school that's going to know about this or know about your story, and they're going to want to see it, and they're going to want to purchase it. And once they know that one of our own, meaning the school, one of our own actually has it professionally published, you can't hide at that point.
Yeah.
No, but I get it though. But so many teenagers, right? They don't have any idea what they want to do during school or especially after school. Now, I know personally, because we talk all the time, I know what your goals are. But for the sake of the episode and for people or listening, um, please share with everyone what your long-term goal is and why it's important to have a sense of direction coming out of high school.
Okay. Why is it important though, right? Like,
Yeah,
or
like why do you, so let me ask like this. So why do you think, right? Like, so what you want to do when you
mm,
graduate. I want to go to nursing school and become a nurse. And many people in high school, they don't know what they want to do. Their parents tell them, "Hey, I want you," meaning me as a parent, "I want you to go to school, or I want you to join the military, or I want you to become whatever." And you go and do that and call it a day. But the student or the person themselves, they don't actually know. They're just, oh well, my parents are telling me to get out the house to go figure something out, but I don't know. But you actually know what you want to do. You have a sense of direction of, I want to be a nurse. So in that aspect, why do you think it's important to at least have an idea as to knowing what you want to do when you graduate?
okay. It's good to know like what you're gonna do after you graduate, cause like for me, I want to be a nurse. I already know like you don't have 2 years to graduate,
Hmm.
but I know I want to be a nurse because like once you're done with school, you're basically like it gives you like a encouragement to continue like to go to school like to help others and inspires you like to keep on working hard no matter what.
Okay, so I got two more questions for you, and then I'll be out of your way. So, given that Adi's wish, right, the success that will follow behind the story, is likely going to be a massive success, just granted from where you are to where it can potentially go. But given that, there's no way, right, as a writer, I mean, you're creative, you have a creative mind, and it just doesn't stop. But what part of your mind is telling you that, dang, you know what? If this book is really, really successful, should I work on another book? So, what's the likelihood? I know you're focused on becoming a nurse, and I think that's really good. Um, but this book is really good, and you have a talent to write as well. What's the likelihood that you will write a second book?
Well, like you said, like it depends how this book goes, and I see like going really well. There's a chance I will write another book, and maybe like there's a 50-50% chance I would, just seeing how much if this increase or not. But if I would write another book, it'll be like a biography book of family, like a person in the family, and it's gonna have like sides, each family member perspective of it, and maybe
Oh,
like a
biography.
novel.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe another children's book. But it really all depends on this book how it goes. And to be honest, I'm doing it mostly as a fun hobby. I didn't expect to go that far, but if I see it go like really good for this one, then I'll consider doing it again.
I think that's fair. You because your focus has always been on doing medical, and this just came because we talked, and then you thought from what you said earlier, just felt inspired, and I think that's really good. Not everybody has a talent to do this, or even a skill set to even like put a book together. But if you never write another book again, at least this is a good one to for it. If it's a one and done type of an ordeal, then it's one and done. But at least it's a good message, behind it. And I do believe that, success for anything is never overnight, but this is not an overnight process. This has been a long journey and one that, because you put your life into it, into the story, there are many years put into the actual concept of the story that pretty much tells the tales of when you were younger, the actual you, Flocka, when you were younger to what you want to be, which is a nurse, and your character is going through a similar path. So with that, right, I'll ask you one more question, then I'll let you get on your way. Again, I know you're a side person, and there may be people that want to support you. There may be people who want to ride with you, who want to rock with you, who want to say, I gotta at least follow her on social media. And I know that's not really your thing either, but you don't have to stick with social media if that's not your thing. But just know that people are going to want to find you, and they're going to want to at least show you some support. So, where can people find you? How can they reach you?
A way they could reach me is by DMing me in Instagram, Flaca_M, or they can also email me by Ariana60813 at gmail.com. That's another way they could contact me or reach out.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. So what I'll do is, like I've done on the past for other guests who've come on the show, I will also link her profile into the description and the email as well if anyone wants to reach out to her based off of what she said. And yeah, feel free, reach out, do your thing, say hi to her, just drop her a follow. So know that Adi's Wish, you can purchase it. I'll have links in the description of this episode as well. You can purchase it. The obvious part that most authors promote is Amazon, and Amazon is a good spot to go to. But we also have it on Barnes and Noble as well. If you'd like to purchase through them, you can also head over to the Osiris Inc. Publishing.com, the website itself, and you can go there. I'll link that in there. That's where her book will be, and it'll show you the variety of places, and it's going to be available for libraries to purchase as well. So, just stay tuned with that, and to support the movement, we'll make sure that everyone can get some sort of a copy, whether it's a paperback or hardcover, or even if it's an ebook. Um, but hey, I really appreciate that. Any closing remarks for you, Flocka?
Should we mention that it's in 2 languages?
There it is. Yes, indeed. So, I mean, you brought up the book was going to be bilingual, so we can't close out the episode without you at least speaking to those who only speak Spanish. So for the little girls out in the world who only know one language, specifically with this one because you speak Spanish fluently, um, let's aim it towards them for now. So what's your message to the little girls and the young teenage girls, or just children in general, who want to who will look up to you in this moment? What's your message to them?
Que los niños siempre siguen sus sueños y todo se puede con tiempo.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna pretend like I know what you said. No, okay. So for those who don't speak fluent Spanish, like myself, don't tell my wife because she speaks Spanish too. Uh, what did you actually say?
To always follow your dreams and to always follow your dreams. I forgot why I said the last part, but basically I said to always just follow your dreams and continue.
Continue on. Okay. Hey, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Hey,
Thank you.
well, that's a great note to end the episode on. So, I must say, thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to tune in to today's episode. I got to do a special shout out to my sobrino, Alex Montoya, who has been a huge help in this. There he is on the side. He's been a huge help in this for being able to just help with the promotions of the book, the promotional aspect of just the story, helping out Flaca and helping just being a real trooper. And he graduates this year, so I just want to say I'm proud of you, and congratulations to you as well, and it's well deserved. And if we can't be there in person, we'll at least be there virtually somehow. So we'll all celebrate together. And for you, Flaca, you got 2 years left. I'm really proud of you as well, and I'm really happy that you decided to do this, and I'm even happier that you are going to continue to focus on yourself and on your and just focusing on yourself. Always focus on yourself, and just do what you can to stay happy.
Thank you.
Of course. Well, hey, I love you too. Love you too. Thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day. That's all I got. So tune in next week for the next episode, and I'll catch you all next time.
Adios.